next speakers are the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes. The new roller derby league in Ann Arbor. Let's hear it for Helena Kirby and Amy Fredell.
Hi, I'm made of black and blue.
And I'm Refugee. These are some of the Derby Dimes. Today, we're going to talk to you about roller derby, where it came from, and where it's going.
And a little bit about what makes it so much fun. All right, now everybody in the crowd, can anybody tell me in one word, what does roller derby mean to you? Shout it out. Hamburgers. Keep going. Roller derby is all these things and more, and we'd like to take it back for a second and tell you where it came from.
Roller derby has a rich history. It began during the Great Depression as a marathon on skates. In the 1960s, the first match was televised, old school, and in 1972, a record-breaking 50,000 fans showed up to watch rival teams compete. And derby is getting popular once again. The number of leagues is growing rapidly across the U.S. and throughout the world. Social media has ignited a lot of interest in the derby community. Roller derby comes to Ann Arbor. Two local women had a dream to start a roller derby league close to home. They spread the word on Facebook, and 72 interested ladies attended the first meeting, which was held at the Arbor Brewing Company last May. So what does this mean for Ann Arbor? A sport of a different kind, bringing new fans to local businesses and vendors, and the Derby Dimes giving back, such as volunteering at the Ozone House.
And not only is derby great for Ann Arbor, it's also great for the athletes. It promotes sisterhood, camaraderie, and self-esteem. Not to mention, it's a very intense workout, and the dues are much cheaper than any gym membership. Also, a very appealing aspect of roller derby is that it welcomes non-traditional athletes. Women of all ages, shapes, sizes, and walks of life are welcome in derby. Basically, if you can take a hit, you can play derby. And derby is also very, very empowering. It's acceptable for women to be tough, to be mean, and to be very, very hardcore. We finally get a chance to flex our muscles, which we usually don't get to. And not to mention, derby is extremely spicy. With the outfits, we have our booty shorts, our striped socks, and not to mention our pigtail. However, keep in mind, this is a full contact sport, so injuries can occur. Helmets, pads, and mouth guards are required accessories. Since derby is a dangerous sport, it attracts women with a wild side. And these women like to express themselves through tattoos, piercings, and funky colored hair.
Don't be fooled though, we are legitimate athletes and train just like hockey players do. The two most popular organizations that regulate the sport of roller derby are WFDA, which regulates the flat track, and WORD, which regulates the bank track. Speaking of the rules, here's how to play the game. The game, or bout, is a series of races between two teams. Each team has a pivot and 3 blockers. They're called the pack, and 1 jammer.
Pack it up!
The jammer is the one who scores the points. Points are awarded for every person on the opposing team that she passes. The pack's objective is to block her, and the pivot regulates the speed of the pack.
All right, now demonstration time with the Derby Dimes. One thing we practice a lot is falls for safety purposes. And some of our favorites are the rock star, the baseball, and the pivot falls. However, the most important fall is to fall small. And now we have our booty blocking. In derby, it is not acceptable to use your elbows or your arms, so the most logical and effective part of the body is the booty, demonstrated by the Derby Dimes. And then we have our whips, which is a derby girl's favorite thing to do. One skater gains speed by whipping off the momentum of the other girl. And let's give it up for Katie and Pig and Nixie Knox.
skeptics who think that the sport is too obscure or too dangerous. For us, the future of roller derby is Michigan's first banked track. Adding Michigan to the short list of U.S. states that own a banked track in 2011.
And that, my friends, is Roller Derby 101.
Thank you for letting us come and tell you about our sport.
And if you didn't get enough of us here and now, be sure to check out our website at a2derbydimes.org. Thank you.
What I think is great about the Derby Dimes is they took the DIY maker culture, instead of making a physical object, they went